T.S. Eliot is an American-British author, poet, and literary critic who was born in the late 1800s in St. Louis, Missouri. He later moved to Great Britain to pursue his writing career. Besides being a successful writer, Eliot was educated in philosophy, Hinduism, and was a pioneer of the modernist movement. But to summarize this multi-talented man, I will bring up important events of his writing career to give you viewers a clear picture of him to later make the decision if you want to look into his work or not. The year 1910 was a very critical year for many people around the world. It was the year where the first Swedish scouting organization was founded. Jack Johnson, the first African-American world heavyweight boxer, won one of the most legendary fights, and China abolished slavery. But this year was also very important for T.S. Eliot, where he wrote some of his most important work, including one of his most influential poems, the love song of Jdkflf. Peter follows Alfred through lonely streets, crowded rooms, and into the bedroom, following his every step to build up his courage to ask what seems to be a love interest, a very loaded and risky question. Alfred keeps asking the reader or himself, "Do I dare?" whilst comparing himself to the people and environment around him as if he's not worthy enough to ask or discuss these important questions that has been bothering him. The one thing I picked up from his writing is the delivery of feelings such as anxiety and misplacement he brings onto the writer only through his comparisons and descriptions. The poem also has a lot of content that is up for interpretation. Some say that the poem is about Eliot's incompetence in the bedroom, and some debate that the poem is inspired by Eliot never pursuing his long-life love, Emily Hale. But to get a better glance at Eliot as a writer and a person, I'd like to talk about his most recent work that was actually released 22 days ago.
22 days ago, hasn't T.S. Eliot been dead for over 50 years?
So, remember his long-life love, Emily Hale? Emily Hale donated more than 1,100 love letters which he had received from T.S. Eliot to Princeton University. They were set to be released 50 years after she or Eliot had died, whichever one of them died last. The due date came to be January 1st, 2020, 50 years after Emily Hale's passing. I consider the love story between Eliot and his muse Emily Hale to be a Great Gatsby story come to life, where he in his letters refers to different sections of his previous poems where he had referred to Emily, hoping she'd pick up on the hints. His love was expressed through multiple letters during a 30-year period, where he during this time participated in 2 marriages. But his love came to an end in his last letter, where he admits being in love with Emily was like being in love with a memory, a parallel to Gatsby searching for the love of Daisy, only holding on to the memory of her. In his letter he writes,
"For Emily was the love of a ghost for a ghost, and that the letters I had been writing to her were the letters of an hallucinated man, a man vainly trying to pretend to himself that he was the same man that he had been in 1914.
His 1,100 love letters were hidden from the public for over 50 years and were seen as lost documents of important literature. But where does one draw the line of literature and a writer's personal documentations? Should everything written down by a poet count as poetry? Is it invading privacies, or does it rightfully belong to the public for the sole purpose of cultural